always make sure you've got a coffee machine behind you when you tell these weird and wacky stories. There's mine over there. And this is a story about a bit of a dilemma. Here's a dilemma I've got at the moment. Plunger coffee or espresso coffee. So I was faced with a bit of a dilemma like that about 6 years ago. Risk getting lost in a Manila slum or fix the laundry woman's thumb. So quite a while back I was in an independent state where I could basically choose what I wanted to do. It was a bit of a, it was just, I had options. And so I took a 3-year sabbatical from, I'd sold a cafe bakery, prior to that being a journalist, PR, and now I could do basically whatever I wanted. So I did mission stuff and basically went over New Zealand and kind of culminated with a brief stint in the Philippines. It was just something that I could do and I chose to do it. While in the Philippines, we were with basically 2 teams. There was the team that I was with, which was a bunch of Kiwis and overseas people, ranging from Germans to you name it. We were a mixed bunch. We weren't a bunch of fanatical missionaries. Basically, we were almost like fake missionaries, because the stuff that we were doing was basically bringing fun and games and play mixed with signs, wonders and miracles to people in desperate situations, basically. We weren't doing bricks and mortar stuff, fixing, building things or anything like that. And in our group there was a bunch of young people, you name it, all sorts of musicians, occupational therapists, computer software experts, and me, ex-cafe owner, ex-PR, politician, spin doctor, and journo. And so this particular part of the thing we were doing in the Philippines, in Manila, we teamed up with an outfit called Metro Ministries. These guys were heavy duty, serious, really cool dudes who started their ministry in the ghettos of New York, and they'd gone on from there to do huge things. The stuff that they were doing in the Manila slums were just mind-boggling. Anyway, so we teamed up with them and we were going through this hideous slum that was just a labyrinth of corridors going everywhere, dark, you name it. It was almost like you couldn't see the sky in parts of it. Things were just that cramped. So we were in this column of people going through the slum, and I'd kind of reached a stage. Incidentally, if you're not a Christian and you're watching this, it might have a bit of a cringeworthiness to it. Well, just ignore that. Just sit back and enjoy the story. This is not a big Bible bashy story. If you're a Christian and you're watching this, then it's meat and potatoes, bog standard stuff that you'll be familiar with. So we're in this long column going through this particular labyrinth, and I am tail end Charlie in this column. I've got my translator with me, and I think we just finished putting on a show, music show for young people, and we're going off to play games, soccer and stuff with a whole lot of other people, something like that. Somehow I ended up at the back of the column, and there was a bit of space, and they're kind of disappearing a little bit in front of me, but everything's under control, except that I am reaching a situation where I'm asking myself, what on earth am I doing here? Everybody else seemed to be making worthy contributions. They had skills and things that they could bring. What on earth does an ex-cafe owner, politician, spin doctor and journo bring to this? Well, I did have a bit of a job as a journo, ex-journo. My job was to document proven established miracles and to list them and to write down the details of each one. So that was basically my contribution. What do you do? So I'd kind of said to God, because that's what we can do, I am bored. What on earth am I doing here? And feeling like a bit of a slum tourist. Here I am, skip-de-doo through the slum. What am I doing here? Modern Western European dude amongst all these people who basically, incidentally, looked a truckload more happy than what I was feeling at the time. And basically, right at that moment, I felt a twinge in my left thumb, something weird. Now, we had been trained up at mission school to be aware of senses, things like that, because it can be a sign from the Holy Spirit that something's going on. This is where for you, the non-Christian, it could seem a little bit weird, but just hang in there. So I kind of decided, well, that could be a sign of something. And coming up on my left was a woman doing laundry by hand. She's scrubbing away into a container away. And so I stopped my translator and said to him, ask her if she's got something wrong with her thumb. So he's doing that, and while he's doing it, I'm looking ahead and seeing that the column is starting to disappear. Big dilemma, a little bit like plunger coffee or espresso coffee. Do I get this over and done with real fast so don't get lost with it and never send again in VidMnlaSlum, or do my thing, what I've been taught to do, and pray for this woman's? Anyway, she did have something wrong with her thumb, a major thing wrong with it, although I didn't know that at the time. So I said to the translator, tell her I'm going to pray for her thumb. Did that. Meanwhile, the rest of the column have stopped. They've seen what's going on. I pray for the woman's thumb. She lights up. She beams, looks at me. She's twiddling her thumb. And so I thought, oh, that's cool. I've done a little miracle here. I'll pray for this woman's thumb, healed it, whoop-dee. And the leader of the Metro Ministries has come back towards us, and she's talking to the translator. And an occupational therapist from Whangarei, New Zealand, is also chatting with the translator. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, oh, well, I've done my thing. I've made a bit of a worthy contribution. The Metro Ministries leader comes over and asks me my name. I still really don't know to this day why she did that, but anyway, she did. And we're having a little chat, and next thing, Katrina, I think, was the name of the occupational therapist, comes over to me and she talks to me, and she said, Neil, do you realise what happened then? And I said, yeah, I prayed for that woman, her thumb, something wrong with her thumb, and she seems to be happy, it's all fixed. She said, no, Neil, it's a heck of a lot more than that. Her thumb was paralysed, and now it's not. So there you go. Just when you're faced with a dilemma of getting lost in Manila slum, or having plunger coffee or espresso, you never know what could be around the corner. Hope you enjoyed that little story.